Okay, so here's the painting itself. So before I go into the explanation of this painting, I challenge you to pause and at least try to look for one or two ideas on how this is modernist and postmodernist. What are ideas that are seen in this? Before I also go into explaining it, I'm going to be reading from the perspective of Gerges. He did research on postmodernism, and he was able to write a reaction paper as to how this drawing is postmodernist. So I'm going to go ahead and read his reaction. Mind you, I did not tell him what the intention of this painting was. So just to go ahead and read it here, he put down that what he can see from this drawing is a beautiful lady who has many thoughts. She has many goals she wants to reach. She wants to graduate from college. She wants to go and help in the medical field, make a difference in the medical field, as shown here through the microscopes and the Erlenmeyer flasks. And so this lady wants to make the world a better place. So she wants to be successful in life. She wants to reach her goals. She wants to get married, have a family. She wants all of these things. You can tell that she has fought for her dreams and didn't give up towards her goals. So on the other side, what he saw, according to Gerges, is a guy who doesn't really understand life or is questioning the things going on in his mind. He doesn't know how to get to his goals and dreams. A guy who hasn't found very much meaning to life. And of course, he said that sometimes life takes us in different paths, but we fight it and we walk these paths to try to reach our goals and dreams that we dream. So lastly, it's postmodern because we can see reality in this drawing here. So again, just a reminder that with the postmodernism, reality is subjective. So if we were to be looking at this through the postmodern view, this is, even according to Gerges, that is what he sees already as it is. It's already just subjective to what he sees. But now I'm going to go into what I meant when I painted all of this. So there's a lot of things that go into this painting. The first one being, of course, we just the plain and obvious, we see someone, a lady who looks very beautiful. And then on the flip side, there's this clear divide here, clear divide. Lots of question marks, lots of X's. We can see here, if you look, contrast. Here, we had the Erlenmeyer flask with the pink inside, and then the brokenness here. I'm going to go into a little bit about what this actually is. Okay, so if we look over here, we see a light bulb. So again, if you know what I mentioned about modernism was during the time that sparked lots of ideas. They wanted to, it was like advancement in science, in life, and brought about, again, the American dream strongly during this time. So we see a beautiful young lady who sparked ideas, decided to advance herself, go to college, make a difference in science. And if you see even just the color contrast here, it's bright and yellow here, just signifying just a really bright future. And a common thing among modernist paintings that you'll see is a lot of them, whenever it involved people, they were looking out. They were never, rarely looking into directly to the viewer's eye. They were always looking out, almost as if they see a brighter future here. So there we see that she is also wanting to get married. So again, the ideas of the American dream. Another thing about this painting that makes it modern is if you see like the color contrast here with the striated pattern, and you can just clearly see just the strokes of the brush was very common with a lot of modernist paintings. So I was able to get that idea there. Just this one, plain and simple on this side, just simply idea, achieve goals, try to strive higher, anything that makes sense. Of course, that's why there's science specifically involved, because we know that reality is based off of logic. If you can see it, if you can experiment in it, it makes sense here, okay? So on this flip side, Gerges mentioned that he saw a man. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, this, if you look here, it's purple, slightly purple merging to black. Here we see like a pinkish purple merging to green. If you look here, brown hair merging into black. So if we see here, it's the same person here. So we see this, that's why there's a clear cut here showing just the difference here. So it's the same person. However, on the flip side, is wondering, yes, this is my goal. This is what a lot of the times people want to reach this. They want to go towards the American dream. They want to do all of this. They believe all of this to be true, the right way to do things here. But on the flip side, in her mind, what's actually going on is this. So this is what the world sees oftentimes. This is actually what's going on in her mind. She's questioning, why is it that I'm told to go to college? Who says that this has to be truth? Who says that I'm supposed to get married? Who says that I need to do any of that? In fact, who says that even what scientists are telling me is truth? So it's showing that distinction with the broken Erlenmeyer flask here. And then as well as here, we were able to see just the X. If you look here, it's just the X's are oftentimes shown as a denial or rejection of something. If you look here, still more question marks. The biggest thing here, question marks, question marks, question marks. And if you look here, the light bulb has been cracked. It's been broken. So it's just signifying the rejection of this. The light bulb pretty much signifying, hey, this is reality. If we take this life, this will lead to happiness. This is a way to do things. This is breaking that. And if you see, it's a lot more darker color contrast here. We here see a clear going down pattern, a very specific way of doing things. Here, it's just messy. The way the paint is done is just a bunch of messy, dark spots with green and black, all of this involved here. This here is just a symbol. It's just signifying, oftentimes when you see this, it's referring to wings here. So if you look here, this is the yellow. If you look here, yellow right here on this side was signifying the right way to do things. Here, there's yellow here, and this symbol is signifying freedom. Freedom from all this, because we're now rejecting science, because that is all just the humanity trying to gain power, trying to tell people how they should be living, all of these things. So just rejection of all that. You find freedom from all of that. And then again, also on that note, it's rejection from all of the things here. If you look here, this is the biggest part of the painting. If you weren't able to get something here, the last part is the biggest thing of what this painting is trying to show. In the midst of all that, some people will still have a very modernist way of looking at life. Some people have a very postmodern way of looking at life. However, like, some people may not even believe or agree with any of this. If you look here, just a clear cut here, the way the world wants her to be. What's the similarities here? The way the world wants them to be, what's actually going on in her brain. Or some might say, since if you're looking at it through the postmodern view, how don't you know that this is the way she is and this is what she wants to be? It's just, there's so many things. Well, if you look down here, there's an arrow pointing down here, and we see eyes. So the symbolism behind this is trying to show that what led to all this separation, behind this way of looking at things, behind the way of looking at postmodern, modernism, just counter modernism, just so many different ways of viewing at life and philosophies. There's a person behind it. There's always someone watching. There's behind the influence of all of these thoughts and ways of viewing life. They were influenced by a person. So here you can see this being a symbolism of many things. One, people are watching her. She knows she needs to go down this path. And this is the way to happiness according to the world, because people are watching that she's being influenced. This can mean her family. This can mean the government. This can mean many things. But then on the flip side here, if she were to go on this route of her life, someone's watching. Someone's going to be like, no, this is not the way to go about things, to go to college, get married the right way. This is all the right way of doing things. Don't go to this side. Oftentimes, postmodernism is seen as a negative thing. There is positives and negatives to postmodernism, as well as positives and negatives of just fully being on the other side with modernism. But the biggest thing here is someone somewhere, or some people somewhere were watching. They had an influence that started all of these movements, because what started modernism movements oftentimes was the people. They themselves took initiative, and as well as with postmodernism, the people were behind it. Whether you can see that being the government, whether you can see that being just propaganda from specific people, or a person starting a movement, behind all of the madness and thoughts and views in the world, there is a person. So this is my my project. This is what I got. So this is just, again, modernism, postmodernism, and hope this made sense. I hope this kind of connected a little bit to what you were thinking. The thing that Gerges was able to get for sure is a view on modernism here, the goals, the trying to advance in the medical field to what he saw, trying to gain the American dream, trying to graduate from college. It's all about the individual here. And though he thought it was a man here, it is still he was able to get one thing for sure, and that's the fact: questioning. Lots of questioning going on in the mind here, because that's what postmodernists do. They question what reality is, or just complete rejection of what people say reality should be, because reality is subjective to the viewer. So many things can come across this painting, and maybe someone may interpret this painting to be something different from what I intended, because again, since this is more of a postmodern and modernist way of viewing, more so specifically postmodernist, so whatever you see in this painting is subjective to the viewer here. Okay, so my sources are posted in my slides, and thank you so much. Just want to say thank you to Mike Menard for teaching the class, and really inspiring me to wanting to learn more about literature and history and all the stuff that kind of went into it. So thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.